We're all devastated by 249 being canceled and being postponed. No thanks to Disney and ESPN. But at least we got some positive news now, right? Big announcement today.
Yeah. Yeah, were you going to go over that, or you want me to get into it?
I want you to take the reins on this one, Blake. I'll let you handle this.
Yeah, so I came across a tweet today that UFC is targeting a May 9th return date for UFC 250, and that's going to be
Is it going before we get into it? Is it going to be 250? Are they just going to skip 249, or are they going to make this 249?
That's what I think. This is probably just going to be 249, because they never had a 249 event, so they can't. No. I don't think they can. I don't think they can. I'm trying to
probably remake this one as 249, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up the tweet right now that I saw.
Mm-hmm. At least, yeah, Dana giving us UFC fans some hope back.
Yeah, so they didn't give a number. They just said the next event is going to be on May 9th. So that would
really curious.
That would be 249. It wouldn't be 250. But regardless, number doesn't matter. It would be the first event that the UFC throws since this coronavirus stuff took it all down. The proposed card will go from bottom to top.
Yep.
Cerrone versus Pettis. That's Donald Cerrone versus Anthony Pettis.
Fire. Would they do that at the welterweight?
I would say welterweight, because Pettis it seems like he's permanently moved up to welterweight.
I think so too. Cerrone could do whatever. I read them at welterweight anyway.
His most recent fight was at welterweight, so I would assume he would want to cut less weight and chill up there. Francis Ngannou versus Rosenstruik. That's another banger. It's going to be big boys throwing down. I hope they don't get scared of each other and they just try to knock each other's heads off.
See, who doesn't listen? Big beefy dudes trying to kill each other.
Weirdos? I don't know. Someone that just doesn't have life going in their favor.
It's a good point.
Amanda Nunes versus is it Felicia Spencer? I want to say.
Yeah.
That could be good. I wanted to see that fight.
But also it could also just be another massacre by Amanda Nunes, the greatest woman fighter of all time.
Her last fight wasn't that great, so I want to see Amanda Nunes go out there and respond, put on a good show, and beat the crap out of somebody. She's a fighter that I really enjoy watching, I have no problem watching her.
She's amazing.
She's like a Shevchenko, except just another weight class above. So I have no problem watching her beat people up. It's just like a John Jones. It's just like a Anderson Silva. I like watching the best go to work.
Exactly. Couldn't say it better.
So, co-main event, Henry Cejudo, Triple C, King of Cringe, versus Dominick Cruz.
Hey, did you know that Henry Cejudo has an Olympic gold medal?
Didn't know that.
Didn't know that. I don't think he doesn't really like to flaunt it. Doesn't like to brag about it.
He doesn't bring it up enough.
No. But everyone, I'm just letting you all know, he does in fact have a gold medal from the Olympics. FYI.
So Dominick Cruz getting this fight is a little bit of a head scratcher, but at the same time, I do see the logic. He in my mind, he does deserve that respect as being possibly. There's an argument for being the greatest bantamweight of all time. He definitely paved the way. Him and Uriah Faber paved the way for this weight class. So I think out of anybody that's ever been in the bantamweight division and possibly ever will be, he is the only guy that I think can come in and rightfully throw his name into the hat for any fight.
Rather see Jose Aldo get it, but I understand this booking. I understand it.
Well, at this point, Jose Aldo is not possible, so that's not even.
Yeah.
You can't even. Yeah. You can't even put him in the mix. It's got to be completely sense. American fighters.
This is fine.
But
until Fight Island
opens, could be put in there, then who knows. But at this point, it's clear they're trying to get the fight that gets the most attention, because that's what Cruz is going to bring. He's going to bring attention. Cruz, people tune into Cruz.
He can talk.
He's gonna bring a great presser. He's still, even though he's not fought for 4 years since he got his butt kicked by Cody Garbrandt, he's still been on the UFC like every other weekend. doing commentating, broadcasting, all that stuff. So I can see it, but we'll find out very quickly if he's still a championship material or not.
I don't know. I'm not sold. I still think I'm just going to say Cejudo takes this one. I think Cejudo is one of the more criminally underrated fighters. A lot of people hate on him just because of the whole cringe champ persona.
Right.
And a lot of people end up overlooking his actual ability. But man, that Cejudo Moraes fight last summer was amazing. It was a great fight.
The only thing that I have to bring up to counteract that, though, is Dominick Cruz is going to be bigger than Cejudo.
Mm-hmm.
And Dominick Cruz manhandled Demetrius Johnson. If you've not watched that fight, if you haven't had a chance to watch that fight, Ross, which I'm sure you haven't, because
probably not.
I know that you are still slightly a new fan.
Yes.
So let me put you on right now. If you ever wanted to see Demetrius Johnson get his butt kicked, just watch him fight Dominick Cruz. And he didn't really get his butt kicked. He was just kind of man, I cannot think of the word I want to use. He didn't look
like how Demetrius Johnson normally looks.
Yeah, but I wish I could say it in a much cleaner way.
No, I got
neutralized.
I got
he
that.
was just completely neutralized. All of his attacks just not very effective. And Dominick Cruz, his size, his length, his strength, it was just too much for him. And so I'm wondering if Cejudo's going to have those same issues, because he is a 125er. He is a little bit smaller. So we'll see if he has those issues. I think it's I think and the thing to counteract that point, I'm counteracting myself now. Cejudo is hitting his peak. He is peaking right now. He is on that climb still, possibly. He still might not have reached the top of where his performances are going to be, because he's just looking impressive.
Yeah, he can't even reach the top shelf.
Well, that too. And Dom, like, we've seen his greatness, right? We've seen him compete at the highest level, hold the gold belts, all of that. So we don't know, is he ever going to get to that level again? That's the question. It's not necessarily is he on the decline or anything like that, because we don't know. We haven't seen him since 2016, and that's not fair to say he was on the decline then because he was in a championship fight. Yeah. But he hasn't fought for 4 years.
Hopefully we'll find out soon, right?
Do we know what's going to happen? No. Are we interested still? Yes. Yes. I'm still okay with that fight. I totally see what they're doing there, and get over it. Yeah, Ferguson versus Gaethje in the main event. That's what everyone's been waiting for. It's obviously the one. I'd say it's the 1B for in terms of fights that we wanted to see in that division. That could have been obviously Khabib versus Ferguson was the one to make.
Can't really do much about it for now.
But what's interesting to me is this is May 9th. This card is May 9th. So Ferguson versus Gaethje would be happening May 9th. They wanted to have Conor possibly in a card in July. So I think that takes both of these guys. The way they fight takes both these guys way out of the picture.
That's why we were talking about last week, man. Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor in July.
That could be a rematch ran in July.
Or you also mentioned
welterweights.
Even better fight, or even probably the more fight that fans would like, is the trilogy.
That's what I'm kind of voting for, because the Dustin Poirier rematch just doesn't. If he wants to stay in shape, in lightweight shape, in championship kind of caliber shape, and fight Dustin, he could. But then again, Dustin, he's campaigning for a fight against Hooker at welterweight too, so he probably wouldn't mind taking a fight at welterweight as well. So I think Conor, at this point in his career, if he can talk somebody that's smaller, like in the 155 class, into taking a 170 fight, that's what he would do at this point in his career, because he's a bigger guy now. He's not the featherweight Conor that we're.
No, he looked good against Cowboy in his return to the octagon. He looked big.
Yeah, so I don't think he wants to cut all that weight if he doesn't have to. So I just don't think a Dustin Poirier fight at 155 even really makes sense, because it's just going to muddle up the top of that division again.
Also, Conor might, if you just want to go solely off of what Chael Sonnen has to say, which you could put a lot of weight into what he has to say, but Conor McGregor is arguably because we're assuming that this Masvidal-Usman fight's going ahead, you could probably put Conor McGregor as number one contender, almost damn near.
Well, they damn near gave him the Masvidal fight, so
Who
why
knows?
not?
But, hey, but all in all, man,
And Covington.
this
Oh
card
wait, nope.
would be,
I'll let you get to the next part.
yeah, I
I
think,
was
but
gonna
this
say,
card, dude,
that
this
ties
card would
into
be
it.
amazing though, man. When
May
this would be
9th.
one hell of a thing to come back to.
May 9th, that would be a great card.